Take a comfortable sitting position on the mat, eyes closed, palms facing up. Making sure the entire body is relaxed as it can be. Checking in with your face, your eyes, shoulders. If you're holding any tension in these areas, try to release that consciously. Let's take a deep breath in, and when you exhale, you can sigh it out with a sound. Inhale, sigh it out. Inhale, and sigh it out. Allow the breath to be normal and mentally prepare for today's session, which is about letting go of negative thoughts, limiting beliefs that hold us back from achieving our goals, from achieving our full potential. Today's practice is going to be about finding self-compassion, self-confidence, and having more faith in our own abilities. This is the second last session. We are going to clear the space, clear the ground for our visualization practice tomorrow. So be fully present and centered. And even before we begin, repeat to yourself, I trust myself. Repeat to yourself, I trust myself. One more time. With conviction, let's say, I trust myself. Let's travel back in time a little bit. Take these moments to just think about what you were doing before you came for this session. The 5 minutes before that, what were you doing? What were you doing a couple of hours before the session? How are you feeling at that point? Can you remember? Can you revisit? What were you doing even before that? The earliest part of the day, maybe just about when you woke up, what were you doing then? How did you feel when you woke up this morning? Can you remember? Let's go further back. How did the year start for you? How was it when the year started? Can you remember the feelings you had when you entered the new year? Let's travel back a bit further. Can you remember how the previous year was? What was it like if you had to use one word to describe last year? The year gone by. How would you describe it? How did you feel through it? Try to remember 2 things from the year gone by, 2 events, whichever ones come to your mind. Can you remember 2 of them? Any 2 events from your life from last year. Can you name how those events feel? Can you name the first event, the feeling that the first event evokes in you? Can you name it? Pleasant, indifferent, soothing, exciting. Can you just find a label for that event? How that event made you feel? If it was an unhappy event, feel free to label it appropriately. Without judgment, just as if you are taking notes with detachment about that event. One label for it. Repeat that label while thinking of that event 3 times. If it was soothing, say soothing, soothing, soothing. Or whatever label you have chosen. Let's repeat the same for the second event. Find a label for it that most fits in. One simple word to describe that event, how it made you feel, good or bad, positive, negative, doesn't matter. Just a simple label. And repeat it 3 times. Take a few normal breaths again now, just focusing on the cadence, the rhythm of your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Keep going like that. As you're breathing in, remind yourself that it is perfectly normal to have negative thoughts. And as you're breathing out, remind yourself that you can let go of all negative thoughts. Inhale, accept them. Exhale, release them. Breathe in a little longer. Remember that negative thoughts are really common. They are normal. Our brain is hardwired to choose negativity in order to protect us. So it's nothing you need to fight against, but we all need to understand how to let go of negative thoughts. And they are not released by suppression or by fighting with them. The best way to let them go is to pay attention to them, to allow them to exist as long as they need to. And like all temporary events, they will go away. Like clouds passing over the horizon, they come and they go. So going back to the year gone by, we've already refreshed your memory a little bit. Can you think of the most negative limiting belief that held you back? What was that one belief you had or have about yourself that holds you back? Do you feel you are not good enough? Do you criticize yourself often? Or are you bogged down by guilt of past mistakes? Or is it the future that makes you apprehensive? Or is it your fixation on events which are not in your control? Is it anxiety? Can you take up one limiting belief that held you back last year? And let's spend some time with it. If you feel that you are not good enough, if your challenge is that you criticize or are harsh to yourself too much, take a moment to ask yourself why. Introspect and reflect on that. And then hold space with the feelings that arise. Whatever your negative emotion, whatever your limiting belief, hold space with it, stay with it without judgment, without thinking of it as good or bad. It just is. Whatever this feeling is, it just is, it just exists, and you are noticing it, becoming aware of it, and how it makes you feel. And like before, label it. Find a name for it, label it, almost like you're making notes about it, dispassionately, without attachment. And repeat that label 3 times. Paying attention, being aware, being present of this feeling. Can you evaluate your thoughts now? How do you feel right now about your limiting belief from last year? Remind yourself that you cannot force or push away a negative feeling. You cannot battle with it. The best way to let it go is to allow it to exist as long as it needs to. Pay attention, label it, be mindful of it, and allow it to go away on its own. The ability to not react, to not jump at that feeling, to be able to exist with it is the best way to overcome it. Let's repeat this activity or exercise one more time. Think of another limiting belief, a belief that repeatedly again and again holds you back. A belief about yourself or your environment or someone else that holds you back. And now hold space with that thought. Allow it to exist within for as long as it needs to. As you focus on the breath, as you focus on the sensations and the experience of living through that belief, which is right now in the moment. It is a feeling. It is just a feeling. It is not your reality. And you're practicing living with that feeling, with non-reaction and non-judgment. You cannot replace negative thoughts with positive thoughts. You can just hold space with them. Allow them to come and go. Like little children, the more you try to control them, the rowdier they get. It's the same way with your thoughts. Think of each thought like a cloud just going over you, taking its time at its own pace until it disappears. It is just a thought. It is not more powerful than you. It is not your reality. It is not the truth. It is just a transient thought. And learn to be present here in the moment right now. Become aware of the whole body, of the sensations that the thoughts may be evoking in the body physically, or in the heart, or in the mind. Become aware of how the body is right now, what shape it has taken, where it is placed, how the skin feels, how the shoulders feel, how your fingertips and toes feel right now. Tune into the sensations of your body right now, being fully present. I'm going to share with you one last trick to let go of negative thinking, which is to be present. Most negative thoughts either take us to the past or to the future or into our imagination in a timeless place. But you can bring yourself back to the present moment. And the first way we are going to do that is try to tune into 3 different sounds that you can hear right now. 3 different sounds that you can hear right now. Could be the traffic, could be the sounds of your own body, static, could be the electronics buzzing. Find 3 sounds. Describe the sensation across your skin right now in 3 different words. Use 3 different words to describe how the skin feels right now. There could be tingling, buzzing, temperature, can you describe the taste in your mouth right now? How does the tongue feel? Focusing on the nostrils now, how does the air feel as it enters the nostrils? Can you describe every sensation as the air goes through the nostrils, or at least 3 sensations? And in this way, you can use your senses to bring yourself to whatever is happening right now in the moment, instead of past, future, or an imaginary timeless space. Remember, the 2 tricks you have always handy to let go of negative thoughts is to name it, to label it, to hold space with it instead of fighting, struggling, or trying to suppress it. As they say, name it to tame it. Acknowledge that thought, give it a name, give it a label, and allow it to pass through you. And second is to come to the present moment, to come back to right now. Use your body, use your senses, use your breath to be in the moment when you need it. When a negative thought strikes, holds you back, or limits you. On that note, let's prepare for 3 rounds of Om chanting. Gently bring your palms together. Rub them to create some heat. To practice the palming technique, cover your eyes, allow them to relax completely. And then bring your palms in front of you as you open your eyes with a few gentle winks. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you had a good practice. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. I'll see you for the last session of the Manifest Your Goals series tomorrow. And we will practice visualization.